Hey everybody, welcome back to 3D6 Down the Line. We're continuing our Megadungeon crawl of the Halls of Arden Vul by Richard Barton using the old school Essential system by Gavin Norman. I am your host, John. I am the referee, and going around the horn, we have, as always.
I'm Mike. I play Gorand, the dwarf, now fourth level? Mm-hmm. Wow, that's awesome.
Wow. I'm David. I play Onweir, the soon-to-be third-level illusionist.
Ted,
You got this.
is dead to us. Actually, I screwed that up, didn't I? Screwed it up.
Well,
I'm gonna say it anyways.
You know what? It's all fine. We love you, John.
Yeah, Ted is dead to us. He's recovering from some jet lag, but we'll see him next time. And lastly, but not least, we have...
Here we go. Now I'll do it. I'm Matt. I play Avaricios, the left hand of Lysion. My right hand I left somewhere. But I'm a 5th level cleric. And I'm ready to lay down some magical hurt.
Yeah. So as you can see before you on the display, we have we got some pretty decent mid levels going on here. Dwarf 4, Illusionist 3, Goblin 3, and Cleric 5. So that's pretty awesome. They're doing quite well. So exciting stuff afoot in Gosterwick. So we're gonna wrap up the end part of our downtime, and then they're gonna head back to Arden Vul, provided they don't die in the streets of Gosterwick. So
that would be pretty funny, actually, because we planned all week.
Yeah, it's very true. But you never know.
Like coming back from Vietnam and getting killed in a car crash.
Wandering encounters, man. All right. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna have. Well, first thing I need to do is I need Matt to actually join Owlbear. That's important.
Oh,
yeah. But Onweir, we're going to do some dice rolls because you went up to 3rd level last session, but you were not at last session. So we need to get you your hit points. You had already rolled for your 2nd level hit points, right?
I did. I rolled a whopping 01 on my 2nd level hit points.
I am ready whenever you are. Here we go.
I have a D10, right? Illusionist have a D10. I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was 2D10.
Do you have a con bonus? That's the question.
I have a -1.
Well, that is a con.
so let me roll my mystical D4 and see what I end up with.
Oh, brutal.
No, I have a con 9.
Yeah, but you're down right now, right?
Oh, so it's...
Oh, no, not anymore.
Wait. I have a con 7. I was reading my decks. That's my mistake.
Ready.
Con 7. All right, you ready?
Okay. All right. Big 2.
Hey, we're working with 6 HP now, gang.
2 hit points per level. Okay. Well, that's good. All right. So everyone is caught up with leveling up, I believe. Okay. So first of all, it is technically the 11th of Logarios is where we actually left the PCs last time. Okay, they had finished their meal with Dalton's Darlings. They had done business with Eusebia Focus. They had learned about Isocritus. They had they had changed out their money. They had brought it back to the Rarities Factor. Wick Trimmer made them the offer of taking all of Leryl's items in return for betrayal of one of his clients. He claims he has information from one of your rival bands, but you refused that offer and kept Leryl's artifacts. All of that took place in a very hectic day of downtime. Mort has, or Ted, I should say, has actually taken care of paying for the week's worth of staying at the Stunned Acolyte at your discounted rate that you have in the suite there. So what I need to know from you guys first is, do you want to skip ahead the 6 remaining days to the 17th of Logarios and pick it up there? What we can say is we can have it there, and so like your concussions are ended basically, and in that 6 days, as if Avaricios was training with Njal and having his hook made, basically that you could have done the hiring of mercenaries and stuff like that. Is that what we want to do?
Yep.
I think
absolutely.
So.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, John. So there was just one other thing, a minor little thing, little side project Avaricios has going on. One thing that he would know that I don't know, in that period of those days, what is because I know there are like different market days that happen in Gosterwick.
Mm-hmm.
What's the largest, like most important one? He would need to know, like, what's the day that the fancy one happens. Not like the guys doing low level trades or whatever.
Yeah.
But the day that the wealthy might come out and buy a few things.
Well, there's actually the upper market, I believe, is where you're going to be wanting to look. I'll double check real quick. Is it there? No, actually, it's the central market. So,
And
so
this
it looks like.
I was just while it was quiet, I was just going to say this is the little project. He's been like pulling mice from the bag as we need them, using his speak with animals spell to train them to kind of eat the threads out of the bottoms of the coin purses. Fancier coin purses, and asking them to like recruit friends. So he's like trying to like build this little army of coin purse loving mice.
Very cool. Okay, so yeah, the market is right here, the central market.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, there is a market held twice a week on Tots Day and Demos Day. Tots Day is basically our Tuesday. Demos Day is our Saturday. The Tots Day market is larger with more mundane wares and things like that. Tots Day is probably the one that you're looking for. That's usually when merchants and peddlers from afar will come and have more of a chance of like specialty items and things like that. So probably the Demos Day, which for you guys would be the 13th.
Okay. All right. So before we leave then, the day of the 13th training as usual, you got to get back up in shape.
Mm-hmm.
But that evening, the evening before this market, he would just go get his little trained friends into his pouch, into his backpack, ask them to, be patient. And he would take them to, I guess it's the that upper kind of walled area where the wealthier citizens live.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. The upper market. Mm-hmm.
Early evening, he would just kind of find a quiet alley and let his little friends go, reminding them of the many, many treats that await them.
Lovely.
If they can just return to him with as many of these little threads from the coin purses as possible.
So wait, what are the mice sent to do?
He's been training them. So remember, he bought all of these like fancy coin purses like a wealthy person would have.
Yeah.
And he's been training them to like nibble at the threads that keep the bottoms of them together, and bring him those little threads.
Gotcha. Okay. Like basically rich people's purse threads is what you're having them bring.
Yes.
Okay, but without them noticing, obviously, right? That's the whole point.
Well, yeah, he's doing this at night when they're asleep.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Right. So I don't see any reason why that would not work. Like no one would suspect that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, they flutter off Cinderella style to go do their business, and then you
do I
go
get
back
a Gus?
Yeah. You're asleep, resting in your huge, cushy bed in the Stunned Acolyte suite in your own private room, and it's just lap of luxury. And you're woken by the sound of slight little squeaking. I don't know how long Speak with Animals actually lasts, but we'll. But regardless, you have access to the spell, so they're
and I know what they want. If they come back and they have the little threads, he gives them the little treat.
They've arranged it in like a nice little nest right at your head on your pillow, and they're all like sort of on their hind legs, just sort of like they're like so happy to like have done this for you, and you can feel the other spirit within you is very, very pleased at this wonderful beginning to what the spirit thinks is probably a delicious prank.
And he acknowledges the spirit within him, but he likes to think there's a little bit of Ibby in there too.
Yeah, Thoth had a whimsical side. We think maybe. Seems a very serious guy.
Who knows?
That is also the day when you wake up on that day to actually tell your mice to do that. Is the day that your concussion ends. The very next morning when you wake up, Onweir's concussion ends. So you guys are free to cast spells with the certainty that they will be cast as long as Avaricios stays in the favor of his god. And right, cool. So in the meantime, you guys are going to attempt to hire some folks, right? Okay, well, actually, first of all, I need a couple of logistic things real quick. I need to know who is wearing Rurotanis and who was wearing Aethelgifu. That is very important.
All right, so I think with the rings, we had discussed that Avaricios was going to wear one of them, and I think we had agreed that Mort at least was for now was going to wear the other one.
Okay, what is your backup since Ted is not here?
I think
I don't think we can both. I need for some of the invisibility plans that we had working for the scouting session. We need somebody who's not going to be in our little scouting party to be wearing the other one of the rings.
So that'd be Goran then. Right?
Okay.
Goran. So
you got it, baby.
Avaricios, write down that you have Rurotanis, and Goran, you're going to write down that you have Aethelgifu. And they are non-encumbering items. Okay. Now, of equal importance, who is wearing Leryl's items? I'm going to go down the list. Who is wearing the cloak?
I believe I am.
Okay.
Yes.
Who is bearing the pin, the sword, the dagger, I should say?
I'm gonna. That was supposed to be Ted's item, but he's not here to fight over it, so I'm gonna take it for now.
Okay.
I think that's good to have you use anyway for now.
And who has the sack?
Oh.
Who's got the sack, man?
Ted had it, but again, I don't think we should leave any artifacts on the non-player. So, who would like to wear the?
Okay,
I've
I've been doing stuff with the mice, so I'll hold the sack while Ted's.
Cool. So Ever's got the sack. Okay. Let me look up these real quick. I need to double check something because there are adjustments here. So, first of all, cloakwear, that would be Onweir. Your AC raises by 2. Okay, in a good way.
Cool.
All right, and you understand that it gives you a 25% bonus to reaction rolls. That'll probably be like an extra 2 or so on a 2d6. I don't know, something like that. And then you're going to be you can become invisible for 3 turns per day. Goran, since you have the pin, you actually gain. Not only is it like the +3 dagger, but it gives you a +1 to Dex.
Ooh.
Okay. I think does 14 put you at a new tier?
I would have to double check that. I didn't think so, but sometimes 5e infects my brain.
I got it right here. No, it's still the same as a 13.
Okay. But still, so, +3 dagger. Oh, yeah.
And remember that any successful hit using the dagger inflicts slow on the victim if they fail a save versus spells, right? Make sure you guys should have this all written down. This should not be. Yeah. And then the sack, that's Avaricios. It's a bag of holding. It has basically 50 slots worth that can be held. Remember, it still has to be able to be stuffed into like a normal opening of a sack, right? And it acts similar to your robe of useful items, which you've already done. So cool. Excellent. Very powerful items that you have not given up. Okay. You have decided that you're going to take Samantha, the red, with you, right? Of all the NPCs. Samantha is a first level fighter. We have her stats written out on a sheet. Onweir is going to adopt her. What wage are you going to pay her?
What's the baseline for that? Just so we know.
It's not really a baseline. You kind of have to tell me what you. She's going to stay with you as long as you pay her something decent. But like, I'm not going to make a roll or anything. But
so because she's a hireling. Is that a share of XP or is that
yes
a flat fee?
She gets a share of XP, but she only gets 50% of that share.
Okay.
So that just happens mechanically, but you guys have to decide as a party like how much you're going to pay her. Right.
Well, why don't we just give her a share of treasure then? Why don't we, you know what I'm saying? Rather than.
A flat fee would be probably save us a little money, you know what I'm saying?
I would say, yeah. I mean, why don't we give her a gold
I don't
a
think
day?
that's a lot.
I mean, she's worth more than that. Let's what about for this
bear in mind she's level 1
for this
just
mission?
FYI.
10 gold?
10 gold for the whole mission.
Does that sound skimpy?
Oh, for the mission. Well, that's 10 gold for like 1 day's work.
Well, can we ask,
right? In the
can we ask what the
of-
mercenaries cost per day?
Well, I mean, they're going to be less, right? I mean, a lot less.
Yeah,
so
but
you
I
have
mean,
to kind of. This isn't like a normal retainer, right? Samantha has been with you already, and she has taken up her fair share of the loot haul, right? So she's seen like a lot of money, right? So if you're like, here's 10 GP to risk your life again, she's going to basically be like, fuck off.
Right.
That's where the fuck off level is where we're looking. So we want to go above that.
Yeah. Like way above that is what I'm saying. Like she's not some scrimping, you know what I mean? Like she's seen the wealth that's there. She has it in her hands, you know?
That's why I think we give them a share, dude. Like, because then they have a vested interest. So if there's 4 main party members, right? That's a quarter share each, like one big share, right? So the way they would do it, like in ships and stuff like that, is that everyone has 100 shares, and we start out at 25. There's 100 shares total. We all start at 25. Then we reduce our share amount to break off some for somebody else. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So,
I just don't want to be cheap with her. I think, go ahead. I'm fine with giving her a share.
Why don't we give her a half share of like whatever we find, right, John? So, well, how many?
What? She's a level 1 fighter. Yeah. I want her to like us, but a half share of everything.
I don't think you're getting what I'm saying. So, like,
he's saying like that's actually pretty normal. Like it's basically. Whatever your share would be on Weir, she would get half of that amount.
Oh, I misunderstood.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not half of all the treasure.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. For you now. No, share. Sorry, I didn't process
it would basically
that.
be like 12.5%.
Right.
I think that's a very reasonable
and we can offer that to pretty much anyone who wants to sign on with us, right? Like we could offer that to Trusty.
Yeah.
We could offer that to you, Sam. Yost is going back to the Darlings, at least for now. And who is that? And then y'all. So like we should come. Yeah. So we give them all like those 3 people like that half share amount, right?
Okay. Well, Nyal's coming no matter what, but that would be generous of you. Sam though is pleased with that notion. She's good with that.
Cool.
And yeah, that's fine. That's totally good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So, I'm sorry, I'm coughing.
I was like, half of all our treasure.
Okay. So on the sheet, you need to note that what the loyalty score is, which is based on your charisma, which is high.
Does that include the Laurel's coat bonus or no?
No, because that's for reaction rolls.
That's just reaction rolls.
All
right.
But your charisma is high. It is a 16. Which gives you a 9 loyalty. So so she has a 9 loyalty, and then you're going to want to mark her wage down as a half share of treasure. Okay, and she has the Man Weeper, a Ransor, and she's pretty tough. She's got pretty high dex, pretty high strength, so she's kicking it. But she is a first level fighter.
They didn't get enough from our last haul to level up.
No.
Okay.
Don't forget too that her signifying thing is that she's basically red, right? She has red hair and she has that red scale armor, like a short shot of red hair. I don't know if any of you old schoolers out there remember the cover of Azure Bonds, the old Forgotten Realms novel with Alias, right?
Ooh.
Yeah. So she's got hair like that, like a tuft of 80s mane.
It's called a mullet, John. I don't know if you remember.
She had it was more like a just sort of sad top.
No, it was a femullet.
Femullet. Effeminate. Okay, fair enough. Anyways, all right. So Avaricios completes his training with Niall after this week on the 17th. You'll all see that even though Avaricios has, of course, been indulging himself because Lysion would want it that way.
It's how you honor your gods.
It was actually hard for him to intake as many calories as he's been putting out for that whole week, and Avaricios is looking pretty like he's disciplined, right? And when he pulls out his what are you wielding these days? A mace?
What do I need? Yeah, because I didn't have. So Avaricios has been carrying a two-handed flail this whole time.
So much for that. Just chuck that.
Yeah.
over
So
your
you know what? We're gonna set that aside, right? We're gonna set that aside, and he's gonna go up to. Let's see. Flails take two hands. Yeah. So I think he's just gonna go back to the old mace.
Yeah. So he's swinging that puppy around, and you can see that he's doing with quite some skill with the left hand now. His right has a newly decorative or functional and decorative hook, wicked-looking blade, and he can strap his shield to that as well. And so he is a new man.
Nice.
I feel much better.
And also, he is also filled out as well because the wasting disease has been lifted, been cured by the priest, so he's good to go. Everyone is at full health and looking good. We knew Dean need to determine, but this was sort of Ted's job as sort of the treasurer, how much wealth was actually deposited at the rarities factor, right? You have a lot, and you needed to combine that with what you had already deposited there and determine like how much net wealth is actually sitting in that bank. In the meantime, though, you guys should mark how much money you're going to take with you out of the city, if any. Right, so because that will count against your encumbrance. You don't have to do the nitty gritty right now, but that you do need to mark that down though at some point, like just how much pocket cash you got on you, basically.
Right. As long as we're under 100 coins, it doesn't take a slot, right?
That's correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So,
David, you're gonna kill me, man. I'm so excited right now.
No. Sorry. Just a reminder, because I wasn't here last session. I don't think any of you need it, but I have banded mail that I brought out with me that I'm obviously not going to wear. We can chalk it, or if any of you would benefit from it.
Why don't we give it to Niall? Niall doesn't have any armor, and that would I need to outfit Niall anyway.
I thought he had chainmail.
Does he have chain?
He does have chain, but David, is there a reason why Onward wouldn't keep it on? Or do you plan to cast spells on this assault during this assault?
That's a good point. I guess I could just go for it.
I mean, that's the reason you put it on in the first place.
I can't cast spells. Yeah. Okay, I'll keep it on. That's a good point. Thanks, GM.
Okay. Yeah. Last major thing before we get to the hiring the retainers. This is kind of cool. All right. So word has spread as far as Narcilion and Arcturus, which are the two major cities that rule the exarchates on this continent, that a true engineering and magical wonder of antiquity has revealed itself at the long falls of Arden Vul. Can you guess what that wonder might be? The Arden Vader, right? Mm-hmm. So over the course of the past week that you guys have been dungeon delving and the past week that you've been down here in Gosterwick, the news has spread that this wondrous thing, like the statues were famous already, right? That's what the area was known for. But the fact that the arm of Arden now raises and lowers according to the whims of the Knights of the Azure Shield underneath the direction of the Lady Alexia has drawn a huge influx of tourists, sages, and of course adventurers. So many, in fact, that you remember the original agreement was that the Knights of the Azure Shield, which is it's a larger contingent than when you usually find the knights in other places around the Empire. There's about 30 of them or so. However, that's not enough to, like, every time someone wants to use the elevator, the knights are the one that have the secret knowledge of how to raise it, right? So they have to escort them up and down the elevator. Well, Lady Alexia has, because it's getting a little bit too overwhelming, she has ordered the construction of a fortified gatehouse that straddles across the Imperial Road on the approach, very close to the tower where you met a certain ghost named Eartol. Right? So they want to build this gatehouse like right in that spot where like the mist is like really, really strong, right? So it's probably going to be a miserable post. So they initially actually attempted during your week here in Gosterwick, you discovered through rumor on the street that they attempted to actually use the old tower as a starting point to like rebuild those foundations. And then they were scared away by rumors of a ghost. Lady Alexia has put a call out for masons and carpenters across all of Burdock's Valley, and carts loaded with material are seen constantly streaming out and into the Imperial Gate. Which is in the south of the town there. So there's a major construction project. The goal is that the gate will eventually be garrisoned by Knights of the Azure Shield, who will then collect tolls for the use of the elevator and then provide escort to the top as needed. So basically they're going to collect it right there at the gatehouse instead of doing it at the actual hand. So how does this affect you? Well, Eusebia Focus, who brokered this deal with you, basically. The Knights of the Azure Shield need to know that the members of the AV Club, whoever those members happen to be, get free passage, right? They also need to know that you know how to use it and that you don't need an escort. You are the only people besides Lady Alexia and the Knights that know this, right? You find waiting for you in behind the bar at the Sun Acolyte, you find 5 bronze pins. Each of them is inset with pieces of green jade. Okay, it depicts the arms of House Basilion. Basilion is Lady Alexia's house. It's also her half brother Iskander's house. It's one of the major 5 noble houses of the Empire. The arms itself are a top-down view of a heron in flight, right? So like a long beak with like spread wings and long feet kind of stretching behind, like a top-down view of what that would look like, right? Almost like a cross, right? Beak, wings, feet, right? The jade is actually like the heron, okay? So these give you, there's a note that's attached to it, basically says that the bearer has free passage to the Arden elevator. The addition of the jade elements, she makes special notes, are unique to these 5 pins. They were made specifically for the 5 members of the AV Club, right? That's what the term that you made last time was that there would always be a maximum of 5 people, right? So this allowed the jade elements basically allow you to use the elevator without escort. They're unique to you, right? There are other passes that are also these bronze brooches as well, but they're pure bronze, and that allows you passage without having to pay the toll. But you still need to be escorted because the Knights are the only one who know how to get up there. You understand? The jade allows you to bypass and go up by yourself. Understand?
And cut in line.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
All the plebeians can wait in the back.
All right, got it. So you want to mark that down. It's an unencumbering item, but basically like elevator pass or something like that. You know, bronze brooch of House Basilion. It is the lady's mark, right? Okay, now the good part.
Yes, thank you.
Hiring mercenaries. So I need to know. Basically, you have 2 choices: hiring mercenaries that are human, or hiring a band of doughty dwarves.
As much as I love the doughty dwarves, Doughty, I kind of feel like they're full adventures and they want shares, right? That is what you explained to us last time.
No, you would have to negotiate.
Okay.
Everything's going to cost money.
Obviously, no problem. But I think the mercenaries are like a flat fee. Like we pay you each this amount of money. You will fight these guys. When you're done fighting, you will then go home, right? That's how the mercenaries kind of work.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
the dwarves. Yeah, there is a dwarven band. They will be more expensive, but they will also they will only. What do you want, basically?
I want 20 dudes with some tower shields, 10 with tower shields, 10 with crossbows, to go down and sit in the debauch room and shoot at halflings and put a winch.
You want mercenaries,
right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so here's the deal. You can get these. You can get these men. You can get 10 crossbowmen, 10 heavy footmen, just like you said. Now, what you find is that they're not. These aren't just like late. You don't go down to the muddy puddle and just find a few mercenaries sort of hanging around, right? Like you want some like a mercenary band, like people who are part of a mercenary company, right? Who are part of a brotherhood, right? So you end up finding someone who is willing, and the band is known as the Winedark Cohort.
Ooh.
The Winedark is, as you know, is the name of the great vast ocean to the east that separates you from Arkantos.
I think whoever named that was a Patrick O'Brien fan.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. These guys are my new favorite mercenaries.
So the Winedark Cohort, yes. They are led, at least the contingent that is here in Gosterwick. They claim that they are a much larger outfit, but the people that are here is led by one Nicasia Duca. That's her name. And she is rough and ready. She is lean, mean, has seen her fair share of fights. She has no hair on the sides of her head, but she has one long brown mohawk that drapes over the left side of her head, right? Just like covers that bare part of her head there, leaving the other side exposed, right? And she has a cruel smile, flinty eyes, and she wields a bardiche, which are badass weapons. So, she is pretty darn cool, and she's heading up a band of 10 and 10. Or that's if you're looking for 10 and 10, that's what she's willing to give. Yes, Matt.
Two things. First, I don't know what a bardiche is. It sounds really cool. Second, I got to go tuck in my kid.
Okay, no problem. Yep.
What's a bardiche?
It's a short-armed polearm where you actually grasp the long blade, like basically in the middle of the blade, but there's a break in the metal.
Oh.
I should have probably drawn up a picture, but that's okay. Go ahead.
That's okay. Okay, I'm going to go check in. I'll be right back in a minute.
All right. If only Ted were here. Okay, so I'm going to have like a real consult. First of all, David is doing negotiation for price and loyalty, right? Because, all right.
Oh, yes.
But I will lay out the tactical plan for them, and I will give them a no bullshit assessment and say this is exactly what we're going to do. Number one, I'll slide 50 gold to Nicasia right off the bat and
She
say,
loves it. I'm listening.
this is to make sure that whatever we discuss here stays between us. Right?
Understood.
Because we're leaving in 6 days to go take care of these little bastards.
Understood.
Okay.
If the price is right, we'll be here.
All right. Tower shields, crossbowmen, portcullis. Our job is to draw them out or to get them out. We have a secondary team that's going to be attacking from the rear.
Are we part of that secondary team?
Nope. Our job is to hold the line, kill as many of them as we can, maybe set them on fire now that the cleric's not here to complain about it, and try and get them out of their hole.
These are halflings, she says.
They're little. They look like halflings, but they're bastards, and they left us to die, and I'm going to wear their asses for hats. And this is purely a dwarven vengeance mission, and you get paid for it.
Pay is always good. I should say, however, that I do not like to take my men and women down into the dungeon depths where they are closed with only a few means of egress. We fight out in the field.
I understand your hesitation. That's why I would like to tell you that there is a very direct route to this location, and then a very direct route right back out the way we came.
Is there danger along the route?
Well, we have to discuss this with Matt, I guess, David, but like this is another thing why mercenaries aren't supposed to go into dungeons, right? It's like a whole thing. So I think I don't want to take them the Dalton way through the passages and have them fight dudes, you know?
That wasn't the plan. No, that's not the plan. The mercs are going to the front
perfect.
entrance.
So I explained to her that there is a pyramid in Arden Vul. It opens to a passageway. It is a straight down, like, I don't know, I give her exact dwarf measurements, 257 steps of 6-inch steps, and one passage, one person at a time. So I'll lead the way. We get into this big room. I'll draw a map of the room with her for her. So we get to that room. They will be trapped in this area. Potentially, I guess they might have other holes to come out of, so we may need to adjust our shield wall. But the entire encounter for the mercenaries will take place in this room. Once they're dead, you guys go right back up those stairs, right up to the pyramid, and right back down to Gosterwick.
She's a little bit down at the map, and she kind of looks up at you, and she goes, "What was I? I lost my train of thought." She asks, "Are we taking prisoners?"
We'll determine that after the fight's over.
So while we're fighting, no prisoners.
No prisoners while we're fighting.
Okay.
We're hoping that they will throw down arms and negotiate a surrender. We're hoping. And that's why I want you guys there. I want to bring overwhelming force to the situation.
And one more very important detail. Do they know we're coming?
They know that we're pissed. They don't know, and they know that we escaped the Arden Vul. But here we are 7 days later with no action against them. And I think they're very arrogant, Do
you trust everyone that you have talked to about this plan, that they have not betrayed you to the halflings?
I mean, trust for a dwarf is a difficult thing, right?
Understandable.
I explained to her kind of the dynamic between us and the Darlings, and say they also got fucked over by the halflings. Mm-hmm. And we promised them severe wealth at the end of this little encounter. So we're hoping that will stay the hand of any betrayal. But regardless, all you have to do is get into this room, hold the line. If it goes pear-shaped, then I'll be retreating with you.
Okay.
I explain about the winch and the chain and the grapple.
Right. She understands. So she sees the area that you've mapped out and what exactly is what it takes and all that kind of stuff. And she says if we have the element of surprise, it should be a sure thing, as you said, numbers. She just worries how much you trust the Darlings. Right.
We're sending.
I will harken back to a memory of a piece of graffiti that said the Darlings own this floor in description of this. So it's interesting. Just to depend. I don't know. I'm curious.
She says this is one of the reasons why we don't like to go down into enclosed spaces like that, because if we are the ones that are taken by surprise, if they have knowledge of our approach, they will be able to set up defenses that will probably slaughter us. Correct?
Well, that's why I'm hoping that the shield wall and the tower shields will limit that, because we would be able to identify if we're being surprised as soon as we get to that room, in which case we're just retreating back up the stairs behind shields. So okay. I'm hoping that that's not the case. There is a wizard involved. We don't know the extent of his power. We're hoping the strike team will deal with him. But again, that's why I want to have big barriers of wood and steel between us and them.
Sounds very dangerous. I do like it. She's like chewing on a toothpick. She takes the toothpick into her mouth, and you hear like a snap inside of her mouth. And she spits out the two ends, and she goes, "All right, this is what I want. For my men in this level of danger, I want 8 gold per soldier for my crossbowmen, and I want 10 gold per soldier for my footmen. That's a flat fee. I think it's fair considering what you're asking us to do."
Wait, per day or for the whole mission?
For the whole mission. That's 180 gold.
Oh, hell yes. And I'll tell you this. Upon successful completion of the mission, that 50 gold is for you to keep. Upon its successful completion of the mission, we will give another 90 gold to be distributed amongst the men.
Why don't we make it an even 100 since there's going to be 20 men?
Sure. I was just doing half of what she said. So yeah, that's fine.
You have yourselves a deal, Mr. Blackhood. We look forward to to following your direction.
I assume that this means that your men will come with whatever provisions that they need.
We outfit our own.
Okay.
To be very clear, I command my men. You can command me.
Absolutely. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Very well.
And I'll be fighting with you.
So we leave on the morning of the 18th.
Mm-hmm.
I will see you then. We will be ready at the Imperial Gate.
All right. You don't happen to have any sappers with you, do you?
No sappers, unfortunately.
Damn it. All right. So the rest of my week, John, after Onweir gets their loyalty thing going, I'm going to get the grapple, the chain, and the portable winch, if there is such a thing.
So the winch, chain, and hook will cost you a total of 50 gold for everything.
Okay. We're going to need 2 donkeys probably to carry all of this shit down there. 4 casks of oil. And then, sorry.
So they will actually bring their own pack animals with them.
Oh, okay.
You can use those if you want.
Oh, perfect.
The 4 casks of oil will cost you 80 gold. When you say casks, you're talking like barrels, right? Like not flasks, casks.
I was talking about like pony keg size barrels of oil.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, what is that for?
That is for retreat. Retreating.
For what?
If things go pear-shaped, we're going to dump them on the stairs and set it on fire.
Okay, so that's going to cost you.
Gotcha.
Basically, it's 20 gold per cask.
All right, so I'm wondering if I have too much then, John. If these are like beer barrel size casks of oil, right? That's probably more fire than we really want, right? So
that'll light up a big area.
Let's do 1 cask.
1 cask, okay.
Yeah.
So 20. All right, is someone marking down these expenditures?
I am. I've got it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in the shared notes also.
Great.
Yeah, I'm putting them in shared notes. How many
Those are
mules?
going to be provided
actually,
by the Merc Company.
The mercenaries are bringing those.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm done. Oh, wait, can I get plate mail in this week?
You can. Well, actually, you're a dwarf.
Right.
So it can certainly be made for you. But the chances that there is actually some here, we would have to roll. Are you okay with that?
That's fine. We can roll, and then if it's not available, I'll commission a smith to make some.
Okay. So
how about just a metal barrel with some suspenders?
Hell yeah, that's it right there.
Right.
Let's do a 2 and 6, Mike. I'm ready when you are.
All right, man. Let me get to my owlbear. 2 and 6. Oh, nope. All right.
No good.
So I'll go find a smith, a really good armor smith.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no mechanic in OSE for like unusual materials or like adamantine or mithril or anything like that,
Not
right?
in this town. I should also mention too that plate mail does not actually exist in the setting. But if you want like the equivalent, you are looking at the Arcantian Lamellar.
Okay.
But the problem is that it's marks you as you're fronting as Imperial, and there are no dwarf legionnaires.
Okay. But if I'm having it made for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can they use the basic construction of that, but tone down all the Imperial iconography and like the look of it and all the rest of that?
I don't think you're going to be able to get around it.
What if I go to a dwarven smith?
There's no dwarven smith.
I'm telling you, man, barrel with suspenders. Get a metal barrel and some suspenders, baby.
Hey, just because I don't remember, John, what is the downside for being marked as an Arcantian?
It just like no citizens look like, and especially official people don't look kindly on anyone who falsely claim to be legionnaires.
Gotcha.
Actually, well, you know what? I'm wrong. That's for the lower K. So that's fine. The Arcantian Lamellar, which is actually heavy duty armor, is not something that the legionnaires wear because they like to stay mobile. So this is the heaviest armor that the Empire makes. So you can actually get that made. So it would normally cost 600 gold. In order to fit it for a dwarf, it's going to cost you another 200.
I'm going to hold off on that. That's a lot. We're spending a lot of money on mercenaries right now.
Mike, another thing just to remind you, those rings, I don't think you were planning on wearing one of those rings. those rings are rings of protection, right?
Right.
I think they give us bump each of our ACs up by 1.
They do.
I think
Yes.
AC and saving throws.
Saving throws as well. Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
They're pretty nice. So don't forget about that. That's important.
All right. Well, that gives me an AC of 20 then with those and the magic shield. So it's not bad. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
What's your AC now?
20.
Yeah, that's more than pretty good.
I'm good. I'll hold. I stay.
Okay. So the morning of the 18th. Let's find out what the weather is, please. Who's rolling?
Oh, hell, I'll do it.
Okay, go for it.
2d6, right? I haven't rolled rather than 1.
2d6, yes.
There's 1. Here's the other one.
5.
That's 5, yeah.
A brisk and clear day.
Nice.
You wake up and you know, as you step out of your rooms in the Stunned Acolyte, that today is the day that you return to Arden Vul in force. So you come down into the common room of the Stunned Acolyte, and you see Dalton's darlings are all down there, and they're doing like the commando montage, man. They're like fitting their blades in the thing, right? They're getting their armor on, tightening. They're helping each other like tighten their armor pieces and all that kind of stuff, right? Strapping on their backpacks, checking all their weapons. And the whole troop, even Heliogabalus looks over at you, and they're all just like, yeah, let's get these bastards. All right. Okay, so you guys are ready to head out, I assume. Is there anything else you want to do?
No.
Oh, there was one thing that we should also make clear before we march the darlings up into this armored guarded gate.
Mm-hmm.
Did we talk about the arrangement? Because we know we got them kind of cleared because they were wanted by the guards, right?
Actually, we didn't get them cleared. We said we were going to take a day to think about it, and we should have thought about that 5 days ago, I guess.
Yeah. I think we were going to get them cleared as just like whether or not we tell them or not.
Right. I think we should tell them, and I think we should get them cleared. Otherwise, this is going to be a problem. I wanted to kind of hold off on that just in case they try to fuck us like in the next week or so. But if they haven't done that, and we've been able to keep them in the inn because they're afraid to wander around, that might also have been the secondary help there, right?
Didn't you clear them with Eusebia? Didn't you tell them to make it all right? Yeah.
Well, I thought we said that we were going to hold off on it for a day, and then we would let her know the next day. Isn't that what we said?
Right. That's true. Yeah. So do you want to do that? Do you want to make it okay?
Yeah. And then on the night before we're set out to leave, we'll break the news to them about why they were wanted and that we got them cleared.
Okay, cool.
So they're not roaming around Gosterwick the whole time.
Do you tell them that you guys discovered the secret?
No, I think we just leave it for now. And
just that we cleared them. Yeah.
Just a mystery, right? So I guess the assumption is then when you guys get to the elevator that you're going to allow the knights to escort you so the rest of the army doesn't see.
Or we just don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like we just don't talk about it. Then Dalton has no idea why we're getting special treatment.
Right. Yeah.
He's just going to be a little bit worried about why we are so in with the lady of the town.
Right. Okay. And during this week before you head out, are you spending time with the darlings, or what do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Socialize with them, hang out, try and make friends with them. I mean, I'm not good at that, but maybe Onweir will. Ooh, Onweir, were you going to do your isocritus research or no?
Yeah, we were looking during the week. I think we were going to try to find out kind of if he comes to town. If he does anybody know? Before he went down there, did he do any research?
Sure,
but you did that, right? I mean, you found you. Yeah,
I thought you did that last session. I remember listening to you do this.
Yeah, you got all that info. I hope you wrote that down and remembered it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't remember.
So no, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm
We're very halfling
right
focused right now. I hope you
Yeah,
understand.
you're gonna have to forgive me, man. I did not rewatch the episode, so that's like a long time ago
But
for
you
me.
played in the episode, so I'm hoping that you're paying attention.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this with love, as the one guy who. I was going to say, as the one guy who doesn't drink every session. This is very
I'm just
enlightening.
drinking water today, man.
I
Anyways,
got pretty lit last session too. So let's
well, I hope you took
on.
good notes because I gave you a lot of juicy info on isocritis. But
You absolutely did. You did. I'm gonna look it up right now.
However, while during the week, when you're you dine with Dalton in the evening in the feast hall down below and the stun alkalite and stuff like that, right? Helio, you're keeping an eye on Heliogabalus and Yost. It doesn't appear that Yost has fessed up anything, or maybe Heliogabalus is just sort of pulled back on the whole notion. They seem to be pretty focused on planning for this whole thing. And you guys are also spending your evenings planning out this whole thing with Dalton and everything, right? So there is one evening, however, maybe 1 or 2 evenings before you're about to set out, where you actually see the quiet but ever present Isidore, the halfling.
Mm-hmm.
He is busy. You see him off in a corner one night, not drinking, carefully writing something on a piece of paper.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
And he surreptitiously hands it to a servant who disappears into the back halls of the stunned acolyte. And then he sort of joins you at the table, but he's quiet. He's always sort of quiet. He's not a teetotaler, but he always kind of maintains like a real even keel.
When this happens, I would like to take a bathroom break and tail the servant. And if it's apparent that it will be clear that I'm tailing him when I get around whatever to the back hall or whatever, I'll use the cloak to go invisible.
So he doesn't notice you, but you trail him out to the backyard basically, and he's sort of leaning, having a smoke basically out there, and he's just he's got this letter in his hand that's been put into an envelope, and he seems to be waiting, and a cowled figure wearing like a weather-stained cloak, basically, sort of trots up on a small horse, basically, and holds out a gloved hand.
What is the stature of this cowled figure?
It's like hunched, not like Black Rider Nazgul sort of thing, but like he's got he's trying to hide his.
Is he a halfling?
No, he's not a halfling. Sorry, I didn't. I thought you meant like social status. But he's no, he's like a human. You can kind of see he's bearded beneath the cowl, and he's got he's like well traveled, right? But he just holds out a glove.
Well traveled, like he's been up to Arden Vul a bunch of times.
And he has like satchels that are also worn on the flanks of his horse.
Okay, when I see him like approaching on the horse, can I turn a corner without the invisibility? And I'm gonna act incredibly drunk. I'm going to approach the servant to intercede before this exchange happens. Maybe piss on his shoe and start going, "Hey, buddy!
Master Andre, what are you doing back here?
Slap his shoulder really hard.
Back here, sir, please."
I couldn't find the chamber pot, so I thought I'd find my favorite friend. You were bringing us drinks the whole night.
Moment. I just have to pass off something to this gentleman up here who's approaching, and then.
Oh, what's this? Oh, is it a caricature?
It's nothing that you need to wear yourself, sir. Just some.
Can I grab it? I grab it.
Okay, he attempts to not let you grab it.
No.
Let's roll for it.
Are you writing love letters to your mistress again? And I'm going to open it up and look at it.
Let's see if you can actually snag it from his hand. Let's just roll a straight up initiative roll.
Sure.
David, just pay him, dude. Just pay him.
Go ahead and roll D6.
All right. Roll.
Okay.
Oh, 1.
Oops. Clearing. Right. Roll. There we go. I got a 5. Okay, so he's like, you grab for it. And he's like, "Sir, I must insist. You. This is a private matter."
A private matter.
The rider comes up.
Just pay him, dude.
I've been sent for a message. Do you have it for me? Indeed I do, sir. If you don't mind, Master Onweir, if you please go back inside the inn.
Oh my god! Can I see the face of this rider?
Grizzled, worn.
What does he look like?
He looks like a ranger, sort of. Like a guy who's spends his life on his horse and traveling. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. He's Thorkin. Good native stock.
All right. All right. There's not a lot I can do in this moment, so I guess I'll just let it happen. And I can't throw money at him and say no, he doesn't have anything. I could just try to grab it again and run, but All right,
so the servant's gonna hand it over to the guy.
Okay, I'll turn to the servant and say, "What is this? Love letters for your mistress? You don't want to get yourself in trouble."
I assure you, sir, that this is not any of my personal business. This is simply, if you require a message to be sent anywhere within Burdock's Valley, we would be happy to accommodate this stunned acolyte. This is simply another client who is sending a missive. I don't know the contents. Simply something we offer as part of the hotel's service. Actually, there are no such things as hotels. The inn service.
Yeah, it's true. I'm gonna lean in. Oh man, do I want to?
Boy, is this man causing you trouble? He kind of pull.
I'm gonna
say he pulls aside his cloak. He's got his hand on his sword.
I'm gonna turn to the guy and say, "Move on, fool." This is business between me and the boy.
Don't worry, Byron. He's a little bit tipsy. He's in his cups a little bit. Now, if you don't mind, if you please hurry off and deliver that. All right, will do. You can count on me. Last chance, or he's going to be bolting off.
Right. I mean, I kind of want to lean in to give the servant a little whisper in the ear, and say, yeah, I'm going to do it. Fine. I'm going to lean into the servant's ear and say, I'm going to kind of act drunk and say, yes, of course. I've had a few drinks. And I'll lean in and go, I assure you, if you give that note away, you will regret it.
Oh, shit.
In the most intimidating whisper I can possibly muster, I'm going to say, tell the man to move along, and it'll be okay.
To move along without the note. Okay, all right, this is cool. So you've got Laro's cloak on, right? So your force of personality is magnified even that much more.
Yes.
All right, so you're going to roll a reaction check. So you're going to roll 2d6.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to go find that thing. Give me a second here.
Oh my god.
I have a 16 charisma, and it's +2. You said
I can never
roll for the cloak.
Find this table. It's so annoying.
Oh, the reaction table. Yeah.
Let's see, monster reaction. What's it called? Sigh.
You can do it, John.
Yep. Give me one moment. Okay, I found the chart that I was looking for. Okay, so here's the deal. You roll a reaction roll on where you get a +1 bonus because of your high charisma, and you're going to get a +2 bonus because of the Laro's cloak that you're wearing. Okay, when you try to intimidate this guy.
Cool.
So I'm ready. +3 total.
+3 total. That's going to be 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 total.
Okay, so he goes white. Right, he's like, and he kind of backs away from me. He's like, Byron, on second thought, I'm so sorry for your time. And he sort of pulls out like a little tiny pouch of gold and hands it to Byron. And Byron just sort of shrugs. He's like, whatever, suits me. He grabs it and stuffs it and trots off.
All right.
Master Onweir, is there something they're not telling me? Is there something I've done wrong?
No, my friend, you've done nothing wrong, but we are in a very precious situation, and I need to see that note. I know it is not normally what a man of esteem and honor like yourself would do, but you must. You must. You must. I kind of like put my
Okay, we'll
hand
say that.
down.
We'll say the roll rides a little bit. He's sort of like, oh, okay, and he hands you the note.
All right. I'm
Okay,
gonna look
so
at it.
you open it up and you can see that there is. It's written by Isidore, signed by him, and you can see that the last name of Isidore is Fleet Fingers. This is a surname that you have heard before. And it's what you basically thought it was. Isidore is in league with the Plunthorn gang or has some sort of contact. He addresses Phlebotomus by name and warns them that there is a great force that is about to come on them and wreak bloody vengeance on them, and to make ready.
Okay. Cool. I'm going to
Nice job,
pocket
David.
that. I'm gonna say apologies, guys. I'm overcoming a flu. I'm gonna tell I'm gonna give the boy 5 gold pieces.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, if Isidore asks, the letter was delivered. Think nothing, no more of this. Yes.
Very well. As he takes the 5 coins, which is more than he makes in like a couple months. Yeah.
Sure. All right.
I'm so sorry if it was anything that I did. But I promise, of course, it's done. I sent the message.
I'm gonna pat him on the shoulder and say, my friend, again, you did nothing wrong. You are in the right here. I just had to intercede on the for the greater good, my friend.
Of course,
for the greater good.
I completely understand. May I go now?
You
All
may.
right, cool. So you intercepted that. All right. Do you do anything with Isidore when you come back in, Onweir?
Oh, of course. Okay, so first things first. First things first, I'm gonna give it a little time, come in, stumble back in like I took a leak, like I said. Sit with the gang, and rather than like vocalize it, I'm gonna just like under the table pass the note so you can kind of read it under the table and give it back to me, and sort of intimate to like be discreet, so that you guys know what it is, right? And I'm gonna pocket it again. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Do you? Or I can take you aside and say it, but I still want to know yours. And I'm gonna give you a knowing look. I'm gonna say cryptically is the intent, John. Oh, what if we bought our friend Dalton another drink? What do you say, Dalton?
I'm always
another round.
Drink. I'm well in my cups right now, actually.
I'm gonna pat him on the back and walk him to the bar. Right, so we're like
we haven't
at
really
the bar
talked
together.
one, the two of us. It sounds like a good plan. On the eve of our eventual victory, and
when I do this, I'm gonna look at you two. Just in case we're revealing this information to Dalton goes tits up because they're all in cahoots. So I want you guys to be at the ready, you know. But I'm gonna lean in and say, barkeep, another round for myself and my friend here. And I'm kind of hunch over the bar and say, so, my friend, we are new acquaintances, but I'd like to say fast becoming friends. Charming man that you are, and of course, myself. Far more charming than your own wizard, but we didn't talk about you, God bless, right now.
You're
This isn't about
no
him.
argument for me. Anytime you want to join the Darlings, you're more than welcome, Onweir.
I've considered it more than once in the week
sure
that we've
Yosh
known
would be
you, my
happy to
friend.
have you.
Yes, and I have to say I can vouch very much for the quality of your men. Save one concern.
Speak up then.
And I'm going to kind of like hush my voice and say, how well do you know our dear friend?
How well do I know him? Well, he's an integral member of the party, of course. He's a thief par excellence. He has avoided numerous traps that have killed us all. Excellent, man. Excellent.
And
I vouch for him.
if you were to find yourself in a position where Isidore did the opposite, he put you in grave danger, how would it make you feel? What would you perhaps do about that?
I am not a man that likes to dissemble. Speak your mind if you have some sort of accusation to make against my friend Isidore. Show me. Tell me now.
I'm gonna pull the note out, and let's say the beers came out, perhaps. I don't know. As the beers come out, I'm gonna bring out a note, a couple coins to pay him, and with it, I'm gonna bring the note out. I'm gonna set it down next to the beer, and I'm gonna
What's
take a
this
sip,
then?
and look
He
at
reads
him.
it, and his eyes go wide, and you see his face like gets red, and he's like slams a fist down on the table. Everyone back at the table at the feast, like you hear, Mike, yeah.
I just want to say that I'm going to interpose myself and the exit.
Okay. And he's like that, and he looks around and he comes and he makes like a calming gesture to his men, you know what I mean, and women back at the table.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to. Well, listen, Onweir, Wood'll take care of it. He will not be a
trust
problem.
that you will.
I can promise you that.
Very
Thank
well.
you for bringing this to my attention.
I'm going to pocket the note again, and I'm not going to say a word about it.
He goes
again.
back to the table and like he his face like changes into like merrymaking mode. You know what I mean? He like starts to like raise a
I'm
toast.
sure it does.
To everyone, and we're all gonna have a great time. It's gonna be a great adventure. We're gonna get these bastards and all that sort of stuff. And you go to bed. All right. The next morning, when we actually rolled for weather and it's a brisk and clear day on the 18th and all that sort of stuff. As I said, you were coming down and they were all doing their commando style sort of thing, right? The last person to come down.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, you notice that Isidore is missing. Everyone else is like preparing and all that sort of good stuff. Dalton comes down and looking very, very grim. He's fully equipped, right? And you see that there is something wet that is trailing behind him down the stairs. And there's a few people in the bar that aren't just you, in the early morning. Beautiful place, right? It's a stunned acolyte, right? And he whips around the head of Isidore and he just plants it right on the bar, just like, and like everyone goes like quiet, right? Like deathly quiet. And Dalton is like, his face is like you've never seen it before, like grim, like death on his face, right? You've never seen this serious before. You can tell that the other darlings have seen this face before, and it's a face that you do not speak whenever he's like that, right? And he just looks at every single one of the darlings, like looks them each in the eyes really hard and doesn't say a word, and he just walks out the door. And like the innkeep and like all the servants, they're all like, oh my god, like they don't even know what to do. Like there's like this dripping halfling head that's on.
It's like worst tip ever.
The one thing I'd like to do in this moment, is if the opportunity arises that Heliogoblus looks in my direction, I'm going to hold eye contact with him for a few.
Sure, seconds. You can do that. Yeah. He looks very, very nervous. Very nervous. He, it probably is not because of you, but because of Dalton. But and Yost just has sort of like this small smile on his face, and as he kind of walks by, he's like, "I never liked that guy, anyways."
I pat Yost on the back, of course.
Yost is the best of us. All right, so I'm gonna very carefully just take like a napkin and just drape it over the halfling's head.
Okay.
Reach into my pocket and I'll put out 10 gold and be like, sorry about the mess.
Nice. Very Star Wars of you. Okay, so so you head out and you're trooped up. Dalton appears to be like in sort of like a miserable mood, but now that he's got a focus, he starts to lighten up a little bit. All their darlings are pretty somber. By the time you actually walk out of town and you're on the Imperial Road south of town, right, and you go through that freestanding Imperial Gate. Remember, the walls haven't actually been built to connect it yet, right? You see lounging about that gate, which almost looks sort of like a triumphal arch, just sort of sitting in the middle of nowhere, right? In the shade, in the early morning shade of the gate, is arrayed your men, the Winedark Cohort of 21 very strong and capable warriors, not adventurer quality, but trained warriors. They have exactly what you want. They have their tower shields. The tower shields are decorated in a manner that they look like waves, like the waves of the ocean, like the Winedark Cohort, and it's like a deep, dark red, like a wine dark red. The tower shields, and they are armed with. They have like short swords, like gladiuses, basically, and they also have spears as well, and long spears. And then the crossbowmen also have short swords, almost more like glorified daggers, but they also have like big fuck off crossbows and full quivers. They look very capable. None of them look like they are fresh faced novices, right? Like they're all like scarred up and like, badasses. And Nicasia is just, she spits out another toothpick, puts another one into her mouth, and she's like, guess it's time. Let's do this.
John,
Men.
I've been gaming for like, I don't even know, like 35 years easily, and I have never been this excited about anything in my entire life. I'm so excited right now. All right.
So, she says, cohort, I don't know what they would actually say. Form up, I guess, is what, right? And they form like a nice ranks. And the darlings are all like, okay. So, pretty nice. They got the mules, right? So you can load all your gear onto it and everything, and you head up the Imperial Road. What was our, let's see, look at our travel times here. So to get to Gosterwick, to get to the base of the falls, basically 9 miles. So you're going to be moving at probably 60. So it's going to take you about 6 hours to get to the base of the falls. Right. Okay. So you head up the Imperial Road. You can see that attempts have been made by some of the by the masons and carpenters to actually repair some of that road a little bit as well, so it's not quite as overgrown as it once was, but it's still a lot of work to be done. And you can see off in the distance, as you see the cliffs rising above you, that the first foundations of the gatehouse have started to spring up across the road near the old tower. Right, you can kind of see it off in the mist there, but basically on either side there is the foundations being built, and there's a lot of work being done. You can see that there's a workman's camp has actually been set up there with special like weather proofed tarps, like eel skin or something like that. I don't know. And they basically have set up camp there to basically work there full time, and so they're just getting up now and making their breakfast meals and everything. You can see the smoke on the air, and they're all, to a man, are all like wrapped tight in this like sealskin coats and everything, right? Like so they can fend off the mist that's covering you. They hail you as you move through. There is a small contingent of the Knights of the Azure Shield that are sort of looking over. They check your passes. They ask if you would like escort up the elevator.
No, I think it makes us look like badasses to not need one. I think we're good. Okay,
so both Dalton's people and Nicasia both sort of look at you like, really? Okay. And you see like Dalton sort of like giving the eye to the Knights of the Azure Shield, and they look right back at him, and they're just sort of, they're sizing all of you guys up, but they're looking at you. You know what I mean? They're looking at them, and they're like, they just don't really like adventurers that much. And you head up to the falls. And, massive and impressive as it always is. And you head up, and I assume you surreptitiously say the name?
Yes.
Okay.
We do.
All right. And you go up, and everyone's like, oh my God. Whoa. You know, it's amazing. You got this huge army that's like going up, and you make your way up. That takes one turn, and you find yourself at the top of the ruins of Arden Vul. Let's switch over here to that, shall we? Right over here. Lovely. Okay. So, at the top, which is right around here, they look stunned. So the mercenaries have never been here, right? Donald's darlings basically immediately start heading for the boulevard.
Okay.
And the obelisk of the sun. Okay. You don't see any sign of Crastonisterex flying anywhere, although you do see what appears to be his wyvern companions or servants. You don't know what they are, actually circling around that tower in the southwest. So just sort of moving around. And at this vantage point, you don't see any other movement in the city.
While we're going up the elevator, I'll just kind of be prepping Nicasia for what she's going to see and what the terrain is like in the city ahead, and that there's a boulevard and we're going to head right down it, and keep your head on a swivel for like the ruins on either side just in case. And I'll just like be prepping her.
Gotcha. Okay. So the moment they hit the boulevard, they, as a unit, basically almost unordered, they basically are like, and they like form up right on the boulevard, and they march. They march forward with their pikes, in line, as they move forward down the boulevard. And you make your way through. That huge sentient oak tree dominates your field of vision as you enter the grand form. The tower of scrutiny to your right, where the remains, perhaps, who knows what they are, of Osric lurk below.
Wait, I thought we pulled him out. We pulled him out.
You freed him. You're right.
We used his ropes, baby.
You're right. I totally forgot. Yep, you're right. That's all good. And you approach the Great Pyramid of Thoth. And by this time, that's about another 6 turns, about another hour. So you spent about 7 hours. So by this time, it is 8 plus 7 is 15. So it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon by the time that you approach the base of the pyramid. Okay?
Okay.
And so I believe that our plan of descent is to use the stairwell that Dalton knows about, that the halflings are less likely to be watching because theoretically they don't know about it.
The one thing about that, though, Matt, was I think you might have been tucking in your kid, is that the mercenaries want like a straight in or out. They don't want to go exploring through Arden Vul. So we told them that we would take them down the straight staircase to go right down to the Debouche room. Because technically mercenaries aren't supposed to be used for exploring dungeons, right? They're just not for that. They don't want to, they're used to fighting outside. They don't want to fight underground. So we convinced them to do the job just by going straight down the thing. So I think if you guys want to go do the Dalton dungeon door to go in the side part, we can still do that. But I'll just take the mercenaries straight down the Debouche room, down the main staircase.
Bear in mind that us wanting to do recon is predicated on you not stirring everyone up with a 20 man.
Right. Why don't I wait until nightfall? Right. If it's 3 o'clock now, that gives you guys basically 7 hours to make your way to the side room.
Let's see. It takes how many turns to get down there? See, it doesn't taste like. Shoot, I lost my notes on that.
To get down,
it takes a while to get down. It's like
yeah, it's a long path. Let's see. The pyramid right there, and looking at the pyramid right over here. That is okay. 2, 3, 4, 5.
24. I see 24 turns. No, six turns on the stairs to go down. So
that
it's an hour.
that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I have on my notes.
We'll
So if it's 3 o'clock now, and then what time is sunset this time of year, John?
We'll say 7.
Okay. So if it takes us an hour, we'll start an hour before sunset and go down. You guys could easily get to those brass double doors that we came through and just be like, have them open a crack type thing so that you can give me a signal or whatever when we come down.
Well, here's timing wise, the cloak will give Onweir 3 turns. So he's got 30 minutes of invisibility.
Right.
The ring that I have, it'll last until I cast a spell or attack something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to last a lot longer. So we basically have 30 minutes to scout in and scout back. So
right.
We can't be in there for hours, or we'll be found in toast.
Right. The only other addendum to that though is so you would activate that ring when you got to the halfling area, right?
Yeah. And you will know because you're wearing the other one.
Because I'll go blind.
Go blind.
Okay.
So if we get into trouble and I cast a spell, you will instantly know.
But the other cool thing about that is I will know when you activate the invisibility because I'll suddenly go blind. Oh,
no,
I have to
instigate it. You have to instigate it. So this does not work that way.
Oh, yeah. I have to be the instigator to make you invisible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, tricky. Okay. So, again, why don't we just do this? Why don't I give you guys 3 hours to go do the exploration through the side tunnel? We'll start as the light goes down, right? So that gives you 3 hours, actually 4 hours to get there, right? Right before we start, I'll make myself go blind. And then they can just guide me down the staircase.
Okay, so we will wait. So the 4 of us, Niall and Sam and Onweir and Avaricios, we go down Dalton's stairwell, sneak around the back, and wait for me to go invisible.
Right.
Basically, right?
So when I'm halfway down the stairs, then I'll instigate it.
Does it make sense to have the darlings with us?
I think you guys take the darlings with you.
Yeah, we have the darlings.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That sounds good.
Okay.
They know the way. Yeah, we need them.
Okay,
Yeah.
is anything being cast or used right now?
No,
not yet.
Okay. All right. So the Goran, you are the only PC and or NPC that is going to be joining the mercs, right?
Yep.
Okay. So
Unless Yost or someone wants to come with me, unless we want to split it up a little bit. But honestly, I think you guys have the more dangerous job, and I think you guys need the more firepower than the mercs.
All right, Goran, do you want to bring the mercs up to the top of the pyramid and stage them there?
Well, here's what I was thinking, John. Where is the guard post in relation to this?
The guard post where the broken head guards are?
Exactly.
Oh, it's right up in the north, right at the top there.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah. I want to keep the darlings in the lee of the pyramid so that they're not visible by the guards.
I would also suggest not having them be visible to anyone at the end, since the halflings and the innkeepers are in cahoots.
Yeah, that's what yeah, kind of the same thing, right? So, I mean, I don't think you can see the inn. Maybe from the top of the pyramid, you can see the inn. But
possibly, yeah.
So, John, I want to stage them. I want to stage them basically in a defensive posture at the bottom of on the eastern side of the pyramid, away from where people can be seen.
So the southern side, then, right?
The southeast kind of corner there. If the map is accurate, type thing.
Sure. Okay.
All right. Cool.
All
and
right.
Then right when it's starting to get dark, we'll start our descent. When we're halfway down, I will make you invisible, Ev, and then you can start your thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's one more magic item we need to track in doing this, which is Shrieker, right? The sling that makes the loud noise.
Yep.
Do you want to give it to me, and then I'll do a Shrieker shot at him, and then you guys will hear it and start your thing?
I was thinking that maybe we have it so that you can hear us.
Okay.
And I should probably have it because I'm going to cast silence on.
Okay. So first of all, that you will not hear it because you're way down deep, right?
Okay.
Right. You're way underground.
Well, the like the Daltons group, like the people that are staying behind, that are going down with us and waiting, for us while we're mapping.
Yeah.
Right. Those guys are only a few rooms away.
Yeah, they would probably hear depending on the barriers, but yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking because Gorand will know when trouble happens, and if we can use that shrieker as like an alarm to let the darlings know if we have in trouble, then we can have a cavalry that comes in.
How is Gorand going to know that trouble's happening?
Oh, because he has the other ring, right? Like if I cast a spell or attack anything,
the invisibility ends.
Invisibility
goes away.
So his blindness will go away. He's got the other one of the white rings.
I'll let you guys walk me through it. Okay, so you guys have all the men on the southeastern side, away from any sight, and then you collect everybody else except for Gorand, and you head towards Dalton's secret entrance. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Before we leave, we do that forearm shake.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll see you down there, my brother.
What we do here echoes in eternity.
They don't. And Dalton's like, they're never gonna know what hit them. It's going to be glorious.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is. Let me just check my map here. That's that number there. Okay, so Dalton's like, right this way, gentlemen. Once again, I cannot promise that there will not be danger. So right to the west of the pyramid, there is a complex of buildings that that looks like they were once given over to like a whole bunch of priests. Like it looks like it used to be like a priest complex of some sort, and perhaps there's servitors just based upon like it's a little bit more mundane than some of the other grand places that you've seen, but it shows the same general flattening that occurred, some sort of catastrophic flattening to the west, right? But there is one building amidst that is about 20 by 30 by 10 that still stands. However, it's only the bottom floor. And the top floor is basically caved into it. Dalton managed to excavate some of that on their way out. And he shows you sort of like the path through the rubble. And he shows you that there is a... First of all, you see that there is a narrow chimney that pokes out of the rubble. And then further away, he points you to a staircase that leads down, and he says, "This is what I was talking about." And you see, it's basically choked with rubble. They made attempts to sort of hide it a little bit, so it just wasn't like out in the open. Mm-hmm. And he says it leads down about 60 feet down into that wide staircase, as I told you, into a grand space with pillars. Are we ready? Shall we delve?
We are. Let us.
Right.
Let's do it.
Lights. What do we have?
Okay. I will do a torch. Oh, John, I didn't tell you my spells for today.
Yeah.
I have light and cure light wounds prepared, as well as silence prepared 2 times.
Okay.
That reminds me, someone had my lantern at some other time, and I didn't think to ask to give it back, but I'm assuming I can have my lantern back.
Sure. All right, so I'm sorry, so the lights, what are the light sources again? I was doing something.
Sorry, Avaricios, are you lighting a torch? I can also light the lantern, and we can just...
Yeah, I mean, we have a large group, so yeah, why don't you do your lantern in the front, and I'll do my... I'll do my torch in the front, you do your lantern in the back.
Okay. John, can I retroactively buy some oil? Sorry.
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah, I purchased a few, just like mundane
you can just
things.
fill up off the
Shields,
cask if you want. Yeah. Fill up off the cask.
There you go. I'll fill up off the cask.
And Avaricios is carrying a torch?
Yes, I do. I have a torch.
John, unless you're gonna pig fuck me upstairs, you want to let me run an NPC?
Yeah, you can run Samantha if you want.
Okay, cool. Is her character sheet in the folder?
I sent a link. Yeah, it's in the folder.
Okay, I'll find it
in the retainer folder.
Got it.
Okay, and I would assume too that some of Dalton's men actually like light torches as well. So you're pretty well lit. Everyone kind of gets their weapons out, right? They're ready to go, and they march on down. All right, let's do it. All right, who's mapping?
I guess I will map.
You also don't have to if you want to make a beeline. But
I think we want to follow his path, right? Like we don't want to explore along the way. So
right. Okay.
David, man, you sound terrible.
All right.
I feel terrible.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, my friend.
Returns. Let me just write this down. 3. Okay. All right. The whole troop goes down. So we have 5 darlings now. And 1, 2, 3, 4 of you guys. So 9 people total. All blazing light as you go down this wide staircase. The staircase itself is 10 feet wide, so it is actually wider than normal, and it opens up into the midst of a large chamber that your torches and lanterns illuminate. An immense pillared hall that's 20 feet high ceiling, so quite high. Looks to be like a huge store facility of some sort. There is a little bit of the sun that basically shines down from 60 feet above you that went down, and it's choked with cobwebs except for where Dalton went before. There's dust and grime and broken masonry everywhere, smashed barrels and boxes, wooden furniture, all sorts of trash all over the place. Looks to be that there might be something worth picking through if you wanted to take the time. There is a 3-foot wide path that has been cleared basically directly in front of you that leads towards 2 double doors that are open. Dalton points to them. He says, that's where we came running down from. There are, he says, oh, be careful there. And he says, like, in the path, there are actually 2 corpses that are lying face down on the path towards the double doors.
Matt, are you going to map or, sorry?
I can. John, where would be a good place on this to start?
Yeah.
You don't have to if you just want to like kind of move forward. Exploit. You know what I mean? It's up to you.
I think in terms of process, I'd rather us just go ahead and get to the destination and like explore this later. But if it behooves us to start mapping, generally we can. Yeah,
I mean, I think if we start mapping too much, then we're going to get tempted to get off.
All right, so why don't we not map now and we'll map when we come back later?
That's fine. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So both of the corpses are recent, and their skin looks blackened and necrotic just from a quick glance. It says we didn't bother looking at them, but they look like they've had a rough go of it. They're wearing like chainmail and split mail, but their weapons and valuables appear to be gone. Actually, we didn't take them. Poor bastards. So there are 16 pillars holding up the area. But you're going to move straight. You're not going to move into the trash. You're going to move straight ahead, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So you move through some double doors. Okay. All right. So you move through some double doors and you see that there is a wide passageway that basically goes straight ahead. Dalton points in that direction. Directly to your right, though, there is also another hallway that narrows a little bit, and you can see that there is a half ajar door where there is light leaking from it. And Dalton's like, "Shh, do you hear it? That's what I'm talking about." And you hear like a sort of low pitch, like giggling, which quickly turns into sobbing, and then quickly turns into giggling again, and then sobbing. Yeah,
love
Mike?
that.
You're just saying no, Mike? Is that what you're saying? Or are you waiting?
Yeah, like no, okay. Get out of there. Nope.
We put on the blinders and keep going.
You're like, what is that? And then you also hear coming down from that hallway, you hear like a click, 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 like multiple feet and you see coming into your torchlight, racing around the corner, coming straight for you down the eastern side are 9 giant centipedes. Basically, are doing an Alien 3 maneuver where they're basically crawling up on the ceiling and the walls and just circling towards you, just like rabid, just fucking coming right at you. And you see all the darlings like, oh shit, as they're coming for you. They appear to be about 1, 2, 3, about 50 feet away, coming around a corner all the way down there, just coming out of the darkness.
I just want to say, dude, that I want to play Samantha the Red forever. She's amazing.
Pretty powerful.
I think we got to fight our way through them, right, guys? Because
does it appear as though they've noticed us yet? They're coming towards the light.
They're like swarming to attack. They're like,
okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, we've got to kill the bugs.
I'm gonna get to the back of the crowd with my
the back or the center.
okay.
Samantha's gonna attack. I guess we're all attacking, right?
All right, so you're setting yourself like is anyone bracing or anything like that?
Can I brace with a Rancer?
You certainly can, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna brace.
I would just like to run behind everyone else. I'm gonna get to the back of the line.
Yeah. Get protected. Yeah, I'm going to toss down the torch that I'm carrying and take out my mace.
Okay, cool.
Do I have the Shrieker still? What's the deal with there?
Yes.
Oh, I won't use it because it's loud.
Yeah, but nobody's gonna hear you here anyway.
Well, more of those things might.
Right, that's true.
Okay, the giggling and sobbing stop, by the way. I rolled a 2 for initiative. Who's rolling initiative?
I'll roll. It's a 6, right? A 2, John.
Okay.
Let's let you beat me on the reroll. Come on.
5.
You bastard. A 3.
All right. So you guys are just basically bracing?
Yeah.
Is what you plan to do? Okay, so... some of Dalton's darlings actually rush forward to attack. I'm not going to... how am I going to run this, basically? There's 5 of them? Let's just say that they're...
So many, John. So many of us.
Yeah. Hold on one moment. Okay, we're back. So I've decided that, full transparency, that I don't have it within me to actually run a massive battle with basically where I'm fighting myself for a large portion of the battle. So just judging by the strength of the centipedes and the strength of this very large party, I'm going to say that basically you make short work of them. Maybe a couple of hit points here and there got taken off, but we're just going to sort of hand wave it and call it a day, since the centipedes are distracting and we've got business to take care of. So they basically hew down a couple of them. The rest of them retreat at the same time as you guys are, as Dalton's shouting for you guys to run down that hallway as fast as you possibly can. Cool.
I love it. Yeah,
right.
That makes sense. That's what we would want to do anyway.
All right. So you run down the hallway. You can see that you're passing a few places where it branches off to both east and west, and then even further down, branches off to the east. He stops you right before you've gone about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, excuse me, about 100 feet down this long corridor, branching side to side and all that kind of stuff. And he stops you, the whole group, before you enter this last part. He says, we're almost there. Now, be careful. You hear that buzzing, and you can hear a lot of buzzing, actually very familiar buzzing. Sturges. And so he says, allow me to lead the way here. And he comes in with his torch, and you can see there's angry, and they come into the torchlight in this large chamber where they have a nest in front of a fireplace. It's about a 45 by 20 foot long rectangular chamber with a fireplace on the northern wall where there's a sturge nest has been. And there are, however, you can see, and you probably remember from his description from before that there directly in front of you is a door, but there is a Thothian teleportation circle that is right in front of that door. Not really blocking it. You can just kind of walk over it, sort of, right? Directly in your path. And the path from where you guys are standing right at the beginning of this chamber to over that teleportation circle to the door is delimited by a set of sticks that is dripping with some sort of foul-smelling goo, right? And Dalton looks back.
That is my least favorite kind of goo.
Yeah, Heliogabalus is sort of by you on where, and he's like, "We didn't put those there. Take note. But they do come in handy. Watch your step now. There's some sort of substance that's been smeared on them that seems to repel the foul beasts. Don't step off the path."
Interesting.
No wonder they're so mad.
And I assume you don't. And they're basically, there's like a cloud of them. There's like 18 sturges, right, in the room. And you can see there's a couple of shiny things sort of poking out of the nest, just a few feet away, of course, right? All sorts of interesting things. Doors on the other side of the room. Doors to your right, one's ajar. But you moved along the path, I assume? Yeah.
We do. We have a singular purpose.
Yes. And you march through a very small door, and you find yourself soon enough down a passageway of about 10 feet. It opens up into a square 20-foot by 20-foot chamber with a spiral staircase that goes directly down. Yvette, the cleric of Debelaton, closes the door behind you and says, Let's go. Down we go. All right. Just getting more maps up here.
Maps.
Okay. And bringing up a map over here. I'll get Albert showing over here.
Huzzah.
We are all so excited, John.
All right. Now you probably need a map. If you're okay, so you descend. Let's see. Spiral staircase. Oh, it goes down a long way. So you actually go down for about 300 feet. All right. So 300 divided by 60 is what? 5 turns.
Yep.
So 5 turns and probably about a turn to get to that point as well. So another 6 turns. So Everisios, your torch goes out. Everyone else lights a torch from Dalton's Darlings as well. And now it's almost exactly 4 p.m. Everisios, do you light another torch or no?
Yes, I'll do another one.
Okay. Have torch. Onward's lantern is still lit, and you find yourself in a 20-foot by 20-foot chamber. Let's see. I'll give you like a general thing, and then you can just move the whole thing over whenever you find out how it lines up.
Okay.
So you're going to want to do it. So I'm not going to count it out for you, but you're going to want to do it right around here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. You said 20 foot.
20 by 20.
Come on. Let me do my little line here. There it goes.
Yeah. Left hand of Lucille.
And there's like a spiral staircase, like right in the middle, like a circle right in the middle, basically, right? It looks like the chamber used to be dusty. It's been disturbed since Dalton came down here. And what was interesting is that it appears that there is no exit out of the room.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
And Dalton sort of smiles at you. And he kind of moves over to the western wall and he goes, look. And he puts his hand through, and it's like his hand just disappears into the wall.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I can't take credit for it, but we did find it. You know who found that illusory wall, actually?
I have a feeling he's not with us.
You'd be correct.
He won't be finding much anymore, will he?
He's sleeping with the fishes.
Exactly. So that whole wall is actually illusory. And as you pass through, actually, I should ask, is there anything that you're ready to set off at this point now that you've reached this level?
I don't think so.
I think we're going to wait closer until...
Okay. When is the point where you want the scouting party to break away from the main party?
We're going to leave the main party near the brick wall. Yes.
Yeah, well, wherever we think that they can be like unseen and nearby.
Okay, gotcha.
I think right by the brass doors.
Yeah. I think
Right by the brass doors leading to the bush room.
All right, so you enter. So you pass through that. So that entire western wall is illusory, and then it opens up as you pass through into an identical 20-foot by 20-foot room, exactly adjoining that room to the west. Okay, and it looks pretty unremarkable. You're not really sure what it was. It might have been like a foyer of some sort. But there are two doors. There is one that leads directly west in the northern part of the western wall, and there's one door that leads to the south on the western part of the southern wall. Okay. However, when you step through, you see all the darlings look a little bit bemused. Dalton himself looks a little bit worried. He's like, I could have... He says, Yvette, didn't we come through here? And he puts his hand on a section of wall that's directly to the east of that southern door. It's like, there was a door here. We came through the door. Look for a seam. And he's like putting his hands on it. It's like, it's not there.
Uh-oh.
I'm not lying. We came through this. It must have been a one-way door of some sort, but there's... Well, that's unfortunate. We can't go back the way that we came.
Can someone tie a rope around my waist and have me go through the illusory wall again?
Sure, someone can do that for you.
Sure.
Real quick. I just want to test it. If I do that, do I end up back at the staircase?
You pass right through.
Okay. All right. I'll come back.
All right. Can we... So there's no seams or any...
Yes, there was a door right there. I know it's there. I have no way of knowing how to open it from this side, but it was just a short jaunt down a corridor back to that room where you had quelled the dust devil or whatever it was back there.
And so this is the section of wall just east of the door that we see?
Yep, you got it, yeah. It's like, well, this is our first obstacle, gentlemen. Do we forge ahead into the unknown? I don't know if we have much choice.
I kind of agree. I mean, what does this door to the south? What does it look like?
It looks like a normal door, like a wooden door banded with iron.
Okay.
Can we listen at it?
Sure, you can. So you put your ear to the door, Onweir. Listening careful, you can hear whatever lies beyond. You hear low, like, oh,
it's the moaning room.
It's our moaning friend.
Which one was the moaning room, King?
Before we got the feathers, if you look straight down, like right here.
Gotcha. Well,
I mean, can we search this door? Can we see if we can find any kind of hidden thing to press or any kind of way to activate what could be this hidden door on this side?
Do you want to spend a turn looking?
You're gonna have to.
I think it might be worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. They also spent a turn listening at the door. So you search, and you know exactly, according to Dalton's directions, like where the door should have been, right? And using a turn to carefully look, you can definitely see that there is a it's very, very faint because it was so well made, right? But there is a faint seam that you're able to try to trace out with your fingers once you kind of find the line, right, where that door was. But it is absolutely flush masonry. Like there's no crowbar, like nothing like that that you can wedge in there. Like it's just like there's the presence of the door, but the means to open it, no.
So it does seem to be like a one-way door.
Can we listen at the westerly door real quick?
Sure you can.
Not to get us too sidetracked, but I'm curious.
Well, Onweir, why would you not want to distract us from our overall mission of death and destruction for halflings?
No.
I will have it known that I voted to kill the halflings in the first encounter we saw them. I was the first one on the halfling kill plan. Sure it took you guys a few months to come around to my.
I'm pretty sure there's a meme about this somewhere. I'm pretty sure that you've been memed.
You don't hear anything at the western door.
All right. Well, if we go into the moaning room, we're probably gonna have an encounter. We know where it goes, more or less. I'm gonna try to backtrack around, but I could also peek an eye in this other door first, if we want, just to see where it leads.
Or it's impossible to backtrack back up the stairwell, come back up to the top of the pyramid, and then just go down the main staircase.
I mean, we can. I mean, we can just see who's making the moaning. I mean, we can handle a moaning guy. Come on, if he's moaning, he can't be that healthy.
All right. Let's crack the door open and look in. Crack it an inch and see who's moaning.
So you open the door, and you see that you actually are in a narrow, a 10-foot wide corridor, basically beyond, but actually heads 45 degrees to the southwest in a zigzag fashion. And it goes for about 20 feet in that direction before it cuts back at a 45-degree angle heading to the southeast. You understand?
And how far does it go this way?
20 feet, and then 20 is the opposite, basically. I'm assuming.
Kind of like this.
Actually, it's actually 10 feet. I'm sorry. Yeah. My bad.
See, now I have to do editing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, sorry. It's weird when it's at an angle to count like the,
Where is erase? That's what I need to do. Let me just get rid of it. Oh, there it is.
Right. So, anyways, like it heads to the southeast. However, on the southwestern portion of that jag that goes down to the southwest, you can see that there are two sections of the corridor wall which have actually been removed. Like they're sort of like archways that lead, and you can hear moaning coming from within both of those little entrances. They're very, very narrow, about 3 feet wide. Now that's what that you can see from a distance, right? You have not approached them.
And so they are along these angled walls, like around here.
Around the southeastern jag.
Okay, so down in here.
Yeah.
All right.
So your light illumines that it basically goes down. And I don't know how to actually convey this, but about 30-ish feet before it jags down to the southwest again, and that southwestern wall's basically got a couple of openings in the southwestern part.
Oh, okay. So
it's the overall corridor is shaped like a lightning bolt, right? It goes dunk, dunk, dunk.
Like basically, yeah.
With a couple of like narrow openings in that one section that lead into the moaning area.
Right.
Okay.
It's yeah.
Gonna get grabbed by a
I'm giving you
zombie.
like the worst possible dimensions to your one night of mapping, Matt. So
Does that do okay?
it's not quite right. It's a little bit longer on that southeastern jag, but don't worry about it for now.
All right, we can fix it later.
Anyways, we kind of have to wrap up here.
No.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. I know it's a little bit anticlimactic, everybody out there, but I do have to get up early in the morning for this new thing I've got to do. So we'll leave it there as they're kind of approaching and trying to find out the source of these moans, and we'll get to the assault proper, assuming everything goes according to plan, next time. So that'll be good because we'll hopefully have Mort with us. And
he's not getting the dagger back, by the way.
Love that dagger. And when everyone assembled for the assault, we'll see how that plays out next time. Okay.
All right. My vengeance is delayed for another week.
Yep, indeed. Sorry.
We get to savor it.
I was hoping we get to it too, but we got a little bit wrapped up in stuff, but still fun. Okay, so I hope everyone enjoyed it. Everyone have a great week. Don't forget that you've been watching 3D6 Down the Line, and please don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon as well, so you get notifications whenever we post something new. With that in mind, we will see you next time. Have a great week, everyone. Bye now.
Don't forget.
Thanks, John.
Don't forget to look for my OnlyFans site.